everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd. And Mary Jo and I are very cozy today. We're sitting right next to each other because for some reason my computer has stopped operating. So we love these last-minute technical difficulties. They are what we live for here at Attorney Computer Systems, where we are lucky enough to be hosting, and you are lucky enough to be attending the, what month is this, Mary Jo? September, the September 2014 World Docs Virtual User Group meeting. So today we are going to talk, and we've lost the mouse again. There we go. Everything's an adventure here. Today we are talking about a neat little summary report thing that Mary Jo and I discovered several months ago and thought we should show everybody in World Docs Virtual User Group land that one. And I'm going to talk about proximity searching, which is searching for words within a certain distance of other words. But before we get into that, a little bit of preamble, a little bit of housekeeping here. This is your World Docs, or your GoToWebinar control panel. And if you are still looking at this control panel, then it is because you have not clicked this little button that looks like an arrow pointing to the right, because had you clicked that, this would have slid out of the way. That's what this button here does. It slides this off your screen so that you can see what's behind it, which is probably my screen. Now, once you've done that, this little button here becomes an arrow that points to the left, and clicking it again will cause this to slide back into focus so that you can see it again. Why? Well, you want to type a question here if you're feeling a little shy. Typing a question here and hitting send will alert Patty, our humble yet eager moderator, eager because this is her second time being our moderator and she's very excited about this. Patty will notice that you have a question. She will wait till the opportune time. She will interrupt Mary Jo or myself, and she will ask your question on your behalf. Now, keep in mind, we don't always answer the question you ask, or sometimes we answer it in such a way that you have follow-up questions. Keep typing those questions, or keep us on track by typing here and remembering to continue to hit send, and Patty will continue to interpret your conversation in such a way that we answer the question that you intend for us to answer. If instead you are not feeling shy and you want to actually talk to us, you can press this button here with the icon of the hand with the arrow pointing upward in front of it. That means raise your hand. When you raise your hand, Patty will recognize that you have raised your hand. She will do the same thing she would have before. She will interrupt Mary Jo or I at the opportune time, but this time what she'll do is she'll unmute you so you can ask your own darn question. So either raise your hand or type your question here, remembering to hit send, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. Without any further ado, we'll click the right buttons here and get out of here and close this up, and we'll let Mary Jo talk to you about the summary report.
Okay, something that Paul and I discovered when we were doing searching is that we can actually print a summary of what we searched for, which is kind of cool. We've talked about tags in the future as a way to filter out documents when you're in a list and seeing, how many documents I did or what type of documents I did, and then if you hover over them and how big the letters are tells you that, oh, there's more documents of email than there is of, something else because of the size of the type, and if you hover over you can find out how many and everything. But that could be, you might want some more specific details. You might want to know how many emails did I send out, or did I or save into World Docs today, or this week, or this month, or by who. So this summary report is really kind of cool. So we wanted to share it with you. So if you click on your search, and we start to do a search, this would be any kind of a search that you're doing. So I'm going to just do it for the client files here. And I'm going to say that I just want to see the doc types for proposals. So I'm going to check that, and I am going to just search the one profile group for proposals. And then down here under the search what, if I click on that, there's this neat little summary report box. And if I click that, instead of getting all of those search results with all of those documents and proposals out there that I have, I'm going to get a nice organized list. So I say OK, and I search. it's going to go out and find them. So now I have this organized list that, and I'm going to sort it the other way, so I'll start with September. And so I'm in September of 2014. I can see I had 6 different proposals that were sent out. In August, I had 26. In July, we had 20, and so on. Now, we already know that this is a client profile group because that's what I searched on. So you can actually change these columns. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to remove this column. And I want to know who sent those proposals out. So I'm going to add a column, and I'm going to say by author code. And now I can actually see that Patty sent out 6 proposals in September. Paul sent out 12 in August, and Patty sent out 14. So I can see exactly who sent those out by authorship. You can do the same thing with email. You can do the same thing with different criteria. If I wanted to see all of the pleadings that have been done for a certain client, whatever my search parameters are that I set on my search window, so if I go back here to my search, whatever I set on this screen, as long as I say search what and do a summary report, is going to return results based on that search. And then I can trade out columns as needed to look at with the information that I want to see. So just a really neat feature that gives, oh, that's the other thing. Let me go back in. Let me do that again. Paul's just reminded me that if I do this for proposals and I search what and do the summary, that not only, oops, I lost my little proposal thing here. Let me get that back. Okay.
50 cents to the first customer that can tell us why that pro goes away when you...
I think I just clicked something funny. So I'm going to do the search what. I've got the summary report there. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to search. Now, I showed you that I have this nice little list, but I didn't show you that I can click on this and find out what those documents are and who they belong to. So let's say, and I'm going to flip this back around the other way so I can get to September. If I wanted to see who these 6 proposals went out to or what they were, if I just click on that, I'm going to actually get the document list, and then I can go in and look at those documents. But instead of like when I have my tags where the document list is already up here and I'm seeing a lot more information than what I might want to see at the moment, I can always drill down and see it. And you can see that it opened up another window right here with that information. So if I want to go back to my summary report, I can just close that, and now I'm back to my summary report on this screen. Now, I might want them all open. I might want to have this one open, and then I might want to flip back to my summary, and I also want to open up the August. And you can see I'm opening up different views, and I'm not losing that. So I can flip back and forth between September and August or back to my list. So you can toggle around and work within those lists. And again, whatever your search parameters are is what your results will be here. So this could be your documents. You know, if you're the author and you want to see all of your documents that you saved in September, you could have that in your search parameter and see them, and then even have doc type as maybe one of your columns so that you could see what you've done. So just a kind of a neat little summary tool in the search box there. And again, just remember that the key is in your search to do the search what and to check that summary box. I'll go back there real quick just to reiterate here. So search, put your parameters in, search what, and then the summary report. Okay, any questions, Patty? No questions, Mary Jo. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you, Paul.
Okay, I can hit the unmute button. There we go. Well, thank you, Mary Jo. I'm going to talk about searching as well, but I'm going to talk about searching for certain words. If we go back into Find, and let's say we're going to search text and file, and we're going to look for tabs 3, and we're also going to look for Practice Master. Now, as you know, when you start to type, it shows you what all the different things are that it's got words for. You can actually choose them that way. So here we are searching for, yeah, this is the wrong spelling. Now, that's a good way to use that is if I start to type Practice Master, we can tell right off that we've got some misspelled words in our index, which I think is kind of cool because you can say, well, I'm going to search for that misspelled word and find it. But that's not the scope of what we're talking about here. So I'm going to search for tabs 3 and Practice Master. And I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And it's going to go out and find a huge number of files. Let me Let me get back in here. Tabs 3. I didn't.
You did tabs 3 and World Docs.
And World Docs. Thank you. Mary Jo is helping me remember. For those of you who don't know, I'm 52 years old and my memory is starting to go. Okay, so here we found a whole bunch of matches for documents that have tabs 3 and World Docs in them. But I think we were also looking at just proposals, Mary Jo. Let's do that one more time. We're going to go back in and modify our search, and we're going to tell it PRO. So we're looking for all the proposals that have tabs 3 and World Docs in them, and we find 123 files. Now, you would think that we have found all the proposals that have the words tabs 3 and World Docs anywhere in them. But this is actually something that we discovered as we were getting on our way to proximity searching. When you do not put the word "and" in between, World Docs assumes that you are using a proximity search of 3 words. Now, back up for a minute. What is proximity searching? If I search for tabs 3 and World Docs within 3 words of each other, and in a minute we'll see exactly how to specify how many words, then I am saying that I want every document where tabs 3 appears within 3 words of the word World Docs, not anywhere within the document. And so if we search for tabs 3 and World Docs, we find a significantly higher number of documents. So why is it that when we search for tabs 3 and World Docs, we find 506 documents, but when we take out the word "and," we find 123 documents? It's because World Docs is making an assumption that we intend to find these 2 words relatively close to each other, and it is assuming a 3-word proximity search. Now, this right here is the proximity connector. Common connectors are AND, OR, W/3. The ones you're probably used to are AND and OR, but you can also put in this proximity connector, and this tells it search for all documents where the word tabs 3 appears within 3 words of the word World Docs. And I'm going to go out and do that, and again it finds 123 documents. So what that means is that I have 123 documents where tabs 3 is within 3 words of World Docs. If I go out and type tabs 3 and World Docs, I get 500 and some. If I do tabs 3 within, let's say, 25 of World Docs, I'm going to get somewhere in between there. 492. So very powerful to be able to specify the proximity of one word to another. If you're searching for amalgamated easement, I know there is no such thing, but stick with me, you might find a whole bunch of hits and say, well, actually, that's just all the documents that, if you use that AND connector, amalgamated and easement, it's going to find a whole bunch of documents because it's looking for that anywhere in between. I think that's why the people at World Docs said, well, if they just type amalgamated easement, we're not going to look for those 2 words directly next to each other, but we're going to give them kind of a 3-word proximity. So good to know that that W/3 is being assumed if you type in amalgamated easements, and that if you instead want to find all documents where amalgamated and easements are anywhere in the document, you need to use that AND connector instead of simply assuming that it's going to be that way if you list the 2 words. That, in a nutshell, is proximity searching. It's merely a matter of using this W/ and then a number to tell World Docs, hey, I want to find this word within 25 words of this word. Do you have any hands up, any questions, Patty?
No questions, Paul.
Okay. Well, that is that. 2 things that I think are both very cool and very easy to explain. Proximity searching and the summary report. Go ahead and try them out. Let us know if you have questions. By the way, you'll see it later that my email address is, I think the one we flash up on the screen is paul@paulpurdue.com. That's the easy one. It's Purdue like the school, not the chicken. You can also email me at paul.purdue again, like the school, not the chicken, Purdue, at attorneycomputersystems.com. Next month, in our World Docs virtual user group meeting, which I believe is on the 10th, no, that's the 10th of November, I think it's the 13th of October. Next month, we are going to talk about restoring from the salvage bin. How do you get those documents back that have been sent to the salvage bin? We'll show you how. And we're also going to talk about something called same profile as, being able to save a document with all the same profile fields filled in exactly the same way as some other document. I use this a lot when I store PDFs that are representations of the Excel spreadsheet that I've created. I want the same fields, but it's just a different extension. We'll talk about that, talk about when it's appropriate to use it and how to use it. And just so you know, if we go out to the internet and go to www.attorneycomputersystems.com, what happened, where'd it go? Ask me later. All of these recorded versions of all the VUGs we've ever done, the virtual user groups we've ever done, plus some other neat video content are available here. When you get to the point where you see my red tie and my white shirt, scroll down. We've got the virtual user group meeting for tabs, Practice Master, and World Docs. We've got our Coffee Pot webinars that we hold every month, Mary Jo's e-bite series, the short 3 or 4 or 5 minute videos on a very concise topic, and the Paul and Mary Jo show. So if you want to see something that you've already seen or you want to review what you might have missed, go to the appropriate VUG page, World Docs, Tabs 3, Practice Master. At the top, you'll see how to register for the next session, but down below, you'll see recorded versions of the sessions that we already have. As we said, next month, restoring from the salvage bin and same profile as. Everybody have a good afternoon, good rest of the month, and we will see you on October 13th. Bye-bye.